coming up on See Hear Love.
Find something intentional every single day where I'm willing to fail. Look at my day ahead of time and say, where is the consequence of failure really not going to make a big deal? And give yourself the freedom to try something, to do something where you're willing to fail. And often, with my team, if I communicate, I'm willing to fail here, or I might fail, it just takes all the pressure off.
You are seen, you are heard, you are loved by God. You're not alone, you're fully known, you are loved by God.
Well, welcome back to See Hear Love and to our Ask the Experts panel. Welcome, Ellen. Hi, Ellen.
Hi.
Good to see you. And Sue. Hi, Sue.
Hi, everyone. Hi.
It's great to have you. And Mary, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yes, and you know what? I am so excited to just get right into this topic because I will say this. We've gotten a number of women write to us at See Hear Love to talk about how can I become a confident woman and what does confidence look like? And do you have any tips or strategies to help me become confident? So why not then bring this big question to the Ask the Experts panel so that we can really help our viewers and listeners learn about confidence. So I want to start off because I think this is going to be great. We're going to be very honest about ourselves. I think a lot of people look at us like Ellen, Sue, Mary, and Melinda and like, oh, they're so confident. Look what they're doing. But I think there might be some surprises today about how we really are doing and what's happening. So let's start off. Ellen, I think for some people, what does it mean, confidence? Like, how would you define it? Because there might be some confusion about what confidence is and, our own self-esteem or if it's connected. What are your thoughts about that?
I think I'll start by saying what confidence isn't.
Okay.
It's not just unashamed boldness, because I think that's somehow how people think about it. And we've been trained, especially as women and little girls, to not be unashamedly bold. I think that can come with confidence, but I really think confidence, I would define it as a rootedness, an attachedness, and attached to our source, a restedness that allows us to step out courageously, even when we may be nervous or don't feel like we have all the answers. And not needing to have all the answers before we step out. But I really think that comes honestly from being seen and known and safe, which allows us to step out beyond where we might feel comfortable.
Love that. Yeah. I mean, sorry, Sue.
Go ahead, Mary.
I was just going to say, I love what you said, rootedness. Rootedness in whose we are, but also even rootedness in who we are. Like a certainty, a comfort level with who we are, even as we're discovering who we are and we don't know all the answers. It's that willingness to kind of explore, even though I don't know, with the confidence that I am a unique person and I have value, right? Sorry, Sue.
No, that's okay. And I think it's about, they're often, I look at women and I think, wow, they're at their best, but combining the belief that I am actually at my best. Belief is such a huge part of that, because we can be doing great things, but we don't truly recognize or believe that we are doing great things.
Oh, that's good. That's a good definition. I think that's a good foundation to set that for the show. So that gives sort of like a framework on confidence, because we're going to help people get there, become a confident woman.
Right.
Okay, Mary, why do you think women struggle with their confidence?
Oh my gosh, do I have an hour?
Yeah. No, I mean, but yes, please answer that. It's important. Yeah.
Well, I've been reading up on the research, and there is a huge gap between men's confidence in themselves and women's confidence in themselves. Part of the reason, and this is a biggie for us women, it's perfectionism. It's our fear of failure. And women, we want to make sure everything's right. We will not take on something unless we know we can just really, really do well. So it's not that we're not competent, we don't have confidence in our competence. So research shows that men will apply for jobs even though they might only match 60% of the criteria. Women have to be 110% before they'll actually try.
Yeah.
So that's part of the challenge. The other finding, which is, very sad for me, is if we're in a room and there's more men than there are women, women will speak 75% less.
Wow, really?
So even though we have ideas, we have great thoughts, if we're not speaking it, then we're not actually influencing, we're not actually able to impact. So here's another thing. Women tend to underestimate their abilities, men tend to overestimate their abilities. And women tend to personalize failures, and somehow it's our fault, and men tend to externalize failures, and they find reasons outside of themselves that's contributing to their failure.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yes.
So what you're saying is that women think a lot about these things. That's not just like one thing. We are constantly thinking about all these things.
That's right. So
that's exhausting.
And the scary thing, Mel, is that success is linked to confidence and not competence.
Confidence. Okay. Okay, so Sue and Ellen are like nodding their heads. They're like, yeah. Thoughts, Sue, Ellen, on why do you think women struggle with their confidence? I mean, Mary gave a lot, but are there other thoughts that you have?
I truly believe, as women, we are part of the problem sometimes. And I don't think that we do enough to build up other women. I don't think we intentionally try to rob people of confidence, but I believe often in the work setting, when we feel we have to prove ourselves, when we're fighting ourselves to try to demonstrate that we are confident, I don't think we do enough to actually build other women up. So I think sometimes we are part of the problem.
And I think that's key. Who is around us makes a big difference, and who is speaking into us. I know when I'm around the wrong people, my confidence tanks because I start comparing myself, I start doubting myself. But when I'm around the right people, my confidence is just very natural. It's not, you don't have to fake it till you make it when you're around the right people, because they're telling you where your gifts and calling already, they're affirming you in your gifts and calling. They're telling you, you're already there, girl, just go.
I think that's really good. And I mean, there's a lot of, why we think women struggle. I think it's also like some family of origin, depending on what has been spoken over you when you were young about gender roles and how women should be. I think that there's a lot for that, but what I want to do is take what we're saying of the struggles and in part two, flip it and help women become more confident. Okay, now I know I sent you a online confidence assessment, and this is the time, ladies, where we talk about our personal struggle with confidence. So this is gonna be good. I don't know who wants to start first, but maybe first of all, let's go quickly about when you took that online confidence assessment, which was learnconfidencecode.com/quiz is what I believe it is. Ellen, what did you come out with for your confidence level?
You could probably guess. I came out pretty darn confident.
Okay.
But the funny thing is there were questions in it that I didn't naturally know the answer to. And I just had to think, it'll be fine. Whatever the result is, I'll be fine. Because it was an American test. I have no idea what the temperature in Alaska is.
I know.
But, I came out, you're quite confident.
Okay, quite confident. Sue?
I did come out as high as well, but I actually noticed a little trait in myself as I did it. I often say as a leader, I'm put in a position where I need to make it up and say it with confidence. Sometimes people are just looking for answers. So I would just answer that question and then they would say, how confident are you in your response? It's like, you're calling me out now, but it did come out as high.
Okay, so high and high. Mary?
Well, because I wasn't that confident in my response, when I got the test, I had to do it twice.
Okay.
So this is the thing I do, I second guess myself. So the first time I did score as high, the second time I scored as medium. So I'm probably medium high.
Okay.
But that's the thing, I was like, high? Really? I don't feel it. Yeah, what about you?
I was high.
Yes.
Like, even though I didn't know the answers, I was like, I'm very confident I didn't know the answers, and I'm okay that I didn't know them. Like, I came out of it so I was very high. But, so it seems like we're high, medium, high, and high. But that doesn't mean, though, that we don't personally struggle with confidence. So I think let's talk about that, because I think there are women that look at us and go, leaders, entrepreneurs, coaches, speakers, podcasters, people in media, they are so confident. They know what they're doing every day. They wake up and bound out of bed with this abundance of confidence. But I think it's important that people know sort of behind the curtain, this is what it is. So Alan, what would you say? What would you say you would struggle with in confidence?
think that confidence, maybe what people don't understand is that it's hard work
Mhm.
because it comes with preparation, it comes with intentionality, it comes with, I mean, it's really hard to be confident when you're tired. So it means making space to rest.
Mhm.
It means saying no to things. It means all the things, honestly, that we've been talking about all season.
Mhm.
It means living those things out, and that helps bring confidence in your just day to day. It's those intentional small steps.
Mhm. So intentional, like looking at these things, like what you're saying, rest, and it really is like it's not like you're going to be confident by just saying you're going to be confident. You actually have to work at it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Be mindful
Absolutely.
of and work at it. Yeah.
Very intentional. I know for myself, my lack of confidence, where I'm least confident, is when I'm not working in an area where I feel I have expertise.
Right.
And it is really hard for me to give myself grace to fail and to sometimes ask for help. That it is really hard. And I feel like, are people going to think less of me if I'm not the expert? Right now, I'm the CEO of a digital platform and I know nothing about technology. I am every single day, it's like, oh, wow, I should know more, but it robs me of my confidence sometimes.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. The fact that we scored high, and I'm gonna stick with my high results, is I think as part of our maturity. Like we are all at a certain stage in life where we've had to go through lots of personal growth and hardships to get to this place. But I would say, you know, if I'm gonna be really honest with myself, I think why I present confident is because I tend to stick into my areas of competence, my expertise. I mean, I talk on mental health and personal growth and all that all the time. So of course I'm confident. So I think I know what I'm talking about when it comes to that because I have gained mastery in it. So where I struggle with my confidence is new things. Do I really want to try that? But I especially struggle with my opinions. So if my opinion differs from yours, and it's not about an expert opinion, but it's just whether you like the color orange or black, I might not speak up. I don't like conflict. So that's where I find that I can be changeable in my opinions, and then I can lack confidence in what I actually believe and what I want. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
what about you?
Yeah, I mean, for struggle, I'll be honest, I was a pretty confident child. I had parents who instilled great confidence. Mel, you can do it. Whatever you want to try, we'll help you. And I've shared this before. Like if you want to go skateboarding, we'll buy, we'll build you a ramp. If you want to try basketball, you can, having parents that really believe in you and help you think that you can do it even if you can't. I think the only confidence challenges I had were what I thought people thought of me. So being a small, very, the day loud young Filipino woman had these connotations with people and they made comments about it, which there were moments that caused me to be like, oh, maybe I don't have what it takes. But then you have, over the years, I've had some good mentors and people who said, don't listen to the haters. You go do what God has called you to do and go for it. And you have somebody greater with you than them. So that was really, but those struggles were there. There was gender, there's ethnicity, there was height. In all honesty, some of those things that felt like the struggles and blocks. But I think, again, with maturity and understanding about who you are and what Ellen had said, working towards it.
And also, as Ellen said, having people in your life.
Yeah, having
who
people in my
believe
life to
you,
really do that, yeah. Okay, Sue, what traits would you see in a woman with confidence? And we talked about, but what traits would you see when you go, okay, she's confident, I know her, she's confident. What does that look like?
Well, it's fascinating because I actually have a list. And because I have lived so much of my life in fear, part of my journey to overcoming fear has been to study women and people who are confident and understand what are the traits. So I actually built a list from watching people who had accomplished something that I wanted. One of the first things I would say is confident people, it's more important for them to do right than to be right. And that is not an easy thing, but they do right, they're not right. Another trait is they communicate to understand, not to convince. And when we find ourselves in that posture of we need to convince someone, it's usually a lack of confidence. Admits her mistakes. And we all make mistakes daily. And when someone's made a mistake and they can't admit their mistake, it usually again is a lack of confidence, able to ask for help, able to laugh at ourselves when we make mistakes. Those were the traits when I looked at people who said they are truly confident. What are they doing? Those are the characteristics that I saw.
Oh,
Love it.
those are good. We'll have
Yeah.
to do that list, Sue, like on our website or on socials, because I think
Sure.
those are just like ones that are shareable and that we need to be reminded of.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, coming to part 2. We're going to take a little break, but part 2, when we come back, is building confidence through Christ, and you're all going to give practical tips for women who are listening and watching who say, I want to be a confident woman. So we're going to go now on a break, because here's an opportunity for you to build your confidence, have fun, make space with your girlfriends for a
Woohoo!
night in
Yes.
on May 26th at 6:30 p.m. with the See Hear Love women. So here it is. Take a look. It's a girlfriend's night in with the See Hear Love team on Thursday, May 26th, and the theme is making space. We're making space for life-giving friendships with Annie F. Downs, for leading well with Joe Saxton, for loving our neighbors with Holly Forche, and for Sabbath and rest with Shayla Visser. And we have panels and giveaways and so much more. So gather your girlfriends for a fun evening to connect and learn together. And get your tickets today at seehearlove.com/conference. We'd love to see you there. Well, I hope you'll join us at our Girlfriends Night In. It's going to be a great time as we make space and as we build confidence as well. All right, here's part 2, building confidence through Christ and our practical tips. Now, Ellen, I know that, as we look at how does our identity in Christ help us with our confidence, you have some really good thoughts on that.
I think that we all have a story that we tell ourselves and that is in the back of our mind, and it's built on things that we've just believed or that people have said and that we've held on to for a really long time. And so for me, and this is kind of my practical tip as well, it is rewriting that story in the framework of the gospel. And how has Jesus redeemed us? What does he say about who we are and what his calling is for us? Understanding what the scriptures actually say about us replaces that broken story and gives us a healthy story to live out of, which is so confidence boosting. I mean, that really is where, when I talk about being rooted, that means you're rooted and you don't have to fake it till you make it, because you're already there. You've got a new story to live out of, and that is amazing for being rooted in confidence.
Oh, that's so freeing, Ellen, right? Like, you're not this narrative or what people have said about you, but it's like changing the narrative of your own story because you are his. Your identity is in Christ.
Yeah. And it's not easy.
No.
It is not easy. This is hard work, but it is worthwhile work, because this is now a lifelong gift that you've given yourself.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then, Sue, what are you doing and committing to in building your own confidence? Like, from a personal perspective, what are you doing?
So I'm always setting little micro goals of what I'm going to do to try to be at my best. And actually, these 2 little micro goals have come to life this week. The first one is, every time I have any sort of difficult conversation, confrontation, uncomfortable situation, I'm committed to spend time and find one little truth. One little truth that I can take ownership of, that I can learn from, that I can get better. And it's so easy for me to be defensive. And when I'm defensive again, that's not coming from a place of confidence. That's coming from a place of fear. So if I can process the conversation and choose one little nugget of truth that I can learn from and improve, that's one thing that I've committed to do. The second is find something intentional every single day where I'm willing to fail. Look at my day ahead of time and say, where is the consequence of failure really not going to make a big deal? And give yourself the freedom to try something, to do something where you're willing to fail. And often, with my team, if I communicate, I'm willing to fail here, or I might fail, it just takes all the pressure off. But those are 2 very practical things that I'm really trying to work through right now as I continue to grow, to try to be more confident.
That's so good. And again, this intentionality of looking at this, looking at your day and saying, this is what I'm choosing. I think the greatest learnings I've had from all of you during this season is that there's intentionality and work to be done.
Yes.
People go through life and they're like, how come this happened? And you're like, did you work at it? Did you choose to do this? Did you change your narrative? And oh,
Right.
am I supposed to work at that?
Right.
I'm like, yes, it just doesn't come to you. So I'm so grateful for these things, that you can change, but there's work to be done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You think about confidence like a muscle, you have to work the muscle. It will only get
Yeah.
strong if you work the muscle. I agree so much. You have to do the work.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, Mary, so then how can we build our confidence, or some practical tips
Yes.
that we can do today, the hard work today to help us to
Right.
become a woman of confidence?
Right. And I love what Sue has said and what you're saying as well. I picked the word TREKS, T-R-E-K-S,
Okay.
a mnemonic, because it denotes movement and effort and journey as well. So T stands for take action.
Okay.
Take action, like get moving, and don't be afraid to fail. Try. So that's T. R stands for risk. Don't be afraid to risk. Do the new thing that you've never done before, and it doesn't matter if you pass or fail. It's just about doing a new thing, because growth comes through the process of mastery, not the actual end goal that I did that thing successfully. So T, R, and then E is experiment. You know, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
So if you're always going like, well, I don't know if I like this, I don't know if I can try this, go and try it. And you're going to discover more data about whether it's something you might actually love. You might actually be good at it. So experiment, and be okay that you might just turn in a B+ or a B- as you experiment.
Okay.
And then K, one of my favorites, kill the ants. Ants are automatic negative thoughts.
Yeah.
Stop with the self-criticism, the beating yourselves up. Like, go in open-hearted, experiment, risk, take action, and you do it with a curiosity that I wonder how it's going to be. And then the final one, which I just needed to add in there, because originally it was going to be Trek, but it's speak up. You know, we talked about women don't speak up. We need to speak up, speak consistently, speak intentionally. We need to talk, speak up.
So we need to treks and we need to talks. Sorry.
Okay, that works too.
I'll just add that too. That's
Yeah.
amazing. And we're going to have that list up
Yeah,
right on our
absolutely.
socials and our website. But I love that there's an action about that. And you said kill the ants.
Kill the
Are they
ants.
red ants? Because I hate red ants.
You can be
Okay.
any color you want.
That's good. Good tips. Let's end with this. You know, Ellen, Sue, and Mary, for somebody who's just like, I've been just beaten down, or I have felt like I should be a lot farther ahead than I am. I have struggled under the weight of expectation, a wrong narrative, family of origin, things that have been said. I'm afraid of failure. I'm a perfectionist. I mean, I could go on. What do you say to this woman? It's like, we want you to become a confident woman, but how can we encourage her today to say, keep going, treks? Ellen, what would you say to her?
I would say it's not too late.
Yes.
Show up. God has a story for you that is uniquely yours. And you can stand rooted in that he has a place for you and a purpose for you. And you can be so confident in that.
I think that's a good part. You know, sometimes we don't go to God about confidence. We think that it's our thing. But man, the promises and the truths, when you really look at him and his character and relationship, has helped me personally through the years. Because I couldn't do it on my own. I needed somebody else to carry me and remind me of who I am. That I'm worthy, that I'm good, that I can do it.
Yes.
That's awesome, Ellen. Sue, for you?
I would say stop and celebrate what you've actually come through. If you're sitting here today, you have been through the fear, you have tackled it, you have taken it. And if you just stop and celebrate yourself for the fact that you have done it, you will become addicted to the other side of fear, because we have to go through it. But celebrate all that you've actually accomplished, and you'll realize I have a lot of reasons to be confident.
Yes, I like that. Celebrate.
Yes.
That's important to celebrate, because sometimes we kind of get stuck in our, the failures and the negativity. But I think we have to remind as women, and Sue too, like, to also call forth the celebration of other women, to call it out and say, oh, that was good. That was a win.
Yeah.
Let's celebrate
Yeah.
you. Raise a toast. Let's do a cheer.
Right.
Yeah, That's good. That's good to be
Absolutely.
reminded. Yeah.
And for me, for the women, as we're talking about treks is not about the destination. It's not about the success out there. It's about the journey. Have you grown more resilient? Have you grown in your faith? Have you learned more about yourself? Have you handled hardships in a way that gives a beauty to your faith? You know, and also, even though it's so hidden, have you loved well? If along the way you've encountered people and you've been able to love them well, you have sown incredible seeds in God's kingdom. And that, to me, ultimately is success.
Beautiful. I love that, and I agree with all of you for those tips. I want to just read you a quick blessing, and then I want you to just share a 30-second thought on this. But it's from 2 Thessalonians 2:15-17, where it says, "So friends, girlfriends, take a firm stand, feet on the ground and head high. Keep a tight grip on what you were taught, whether in personal conversation or by our letter. And may Jesus himself and God our Father, who reached out in love and surprised you with gifts of unending help and confidence, put a fresh heart in you, invigorate your work, and enliven your speech." Maybe it's a blessing for all of you and for me. But I just feel that verse, just to put a fresh heart in you, invigorate your work, enliven your speech, because of the gift of help and confidence. Any thoughts on that? Does that warm your heart? Is it something that encourages you? Ellen?
Absolutely. I think we forget to keep our head high.
Yes.
I don't know if some of you have seen that meme that says, like, "Girl, straighten your crown." Remember
Yeah.
daughter you are. And we are daughters of the Most High God. And so we need to sometimes keep our head high, straighten our crown, remember whose we are, and carry on.
And my first reaction when you just read that was just to say thank you, just to go to a posture of gratitude and claim that promise of, this is a gift that has been given to us. Thank you. And spend time in gratitude, just celebrating the fact that it's a truth we've already been given.
Good.
Yeah, I just love that it's not about our performance. It's about Jesus. It's about the gifts he's given us, and like Sue, like the gratitude that it's been given us, and therefore we can hold our head high. Oh, I'm going to be pondering that scripture for a while. What about you, Mel?
Yeah, I love that. I think, take a firm stand, feet on the ground, and head high. Because a lot of women, I think, keep their head low, looking at the ground, looking behind, but never looking high and forward. And I think that's big. I think that fresh heart in you, I think a lot of us as women, and maybe for me some days, my heart is hardened to the world and the circumstances that have impacted me. And so I live out of that place. And it's like, no, God's going to put a fresh heart in you, a softening heart, a soft heart to see the world with kindness and goodness. I need some invigoration in my work.
Yes.
And whatever enliven your speech is, I mean, hopefully we have that. But that's such an encouragement in 2 Thessalonians. So thank you all so much. Thank you for leading with confidence, for your kindness and humility as you lead in all the areas of influence. And I think that you've given some really practical tips on how to become a confident woman. So such a pleasure again, Ellen, Sue, and Mary, for being with us here on See Hear Love, and for your wise words. And I'm going to straighten my crown now, Ellen.
That's right. We have to do it.
Perfect.
As we go. And to your viewers and listeners, thank you so much for being with us. I hope that we encourage you to become a more confident woman. We're going to put treks and some of Ellen's and Sue's thoughts on our website and socials, so you can write down those good tips at seehearlove.com. Check out our podcast. And know, as you're struggling, as you're working, as you're being intentional, as you're choosing every morning to get up and go and do it, and treks and kill those ants, know, confident woman, that you are seen, you are heard, I'm going to add, you are known, and you are deeply loved by God. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you soon.
See Hear Love thanks our partners who make this show possible.
Thank you for your ongoing support of Crossroads, a supporter-funded, nonprofit organization and member of the Canadian Centre for Christian Charities. Thanks to faithful people like you, we are able to continue producing See Hear Love. You can write to Crossroads, P.O. Box 5100, Burlington, Ontario, L7R 4M2, or visit crossroads.ca to learn more about our programs.